All right, folks, after a pretty nice and needed 4-day vacation, welcome back in, folks, and good evening, WNBA and women's basketball fans. Glad to be back with you folks here on your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home for everything revolving around the WNBA and the rest of the women's basketball universe. Welcome in, folks, to week number 3 already of the 2016 WNBA season here on this evening's edition of WNBA 365. Joined this evening in the hangout by both Crystal Thomas and back with us after a little bit of a minor illness, Tanisha Stewart, both of them up in Los Angeles, California, and back home in sunny San Diego, California, is Callum McClurg joining you folks here from Studio 171. KT and Shorty, good to see you guys again after being away in the desert. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Other than that, guys, how is it going and how was the weekend?
Hey, it is going decent, I guess.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back after a week long of sickness, and I know that Crystal was crying when I was away.
Yes, I was. Happy tears.
With that, folks, of course, as always, Facebook and Twitter wide open for you folks, along with our live chat box. So hit us up on Twitter. It's at CallumAc3, at ShortyMamba24, or at Pup1010, or at WNBA365 with the hashtag WNBA365, or give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/WNBA365, or also hit us up or follow us as well on our official Instagram page. Our Instagram handle is also at WNBA365, and also include hashtag WNBA365 over there as well. With that, guys, we'll get to both games tonight. Talk a little bit about the about what I had called Mercury Mission 3, my recent trip to Phoenix, and give a few people some very much deserved shout-outs as well a little bit later on. But first and foremost, guys, Minnesota and New York this evening on ESPN2 from the world's most famous arena goes to the Minnesota Lynx, 79-69. The Lynx are now 6-0 on the young season, led by Maya Moore with 25 points. Also scoring this evening for Minnesota, Simone Augustus with 13, Renee Montgomery with 10, Sylvia Fowles with 9, Rebecca Brunson with 6, Gia Perkins with 5, Lindsay Whalen and Janelle McCarville all with 4, and Natasha Howard also chipped in 3 points. Bashara Graves and Keisha Hampton, both DNPs. Coach's discretion on that one. For the Liberty, Tina Charles, 23 points. Shavante Zellos, 12 points. Brittany Boyd and Sugar Rogers all with 9. Tanisha Wright, 7 points. Kia Stokes with 5. Lindsay Harding and Swin Cash both with 2. And Carolyn Swords, no points in 13 minutes played. Missed both of her attempts from the field. Adut Bolak, Shoni Schimmel, and Amanda Zowie B both held out of the game by Bill Lambier. Game played today, of course, from the Madison Square Garden in New York, New York. Today's attendance for the game, 7,356. Time of the game, 2 hours and 2 minutes. The referees were Jeff Wooten, Amy Bonner, and Roy Goldbein. 2 technical fouls assessed to Minnesota. 1 time the lead change and 1 timed. And 1 time this evening, New York and Minnesota were deadlocked in the contest. So, Shorty, starting with you, and again, Minnesota, as we have seen in the past, again, they seem to get off to, really fast starts. But a couple times, though, we've seen them a little bit, kind of falter a little bit towards the end. But still, though, they're able to back up their play and still hang on or still win a game, either pretty lopsidedly or a pretty close game. Shorty, overall thoughts and a recap in your mind about Minnesota winning their 6th straight game to begin the season.
I mean, it was pretty interesting. The Lynx led for the most part, by spectacular play by Maya Moore, and it was good for them. Sorry, I'm still recovering, but it got pretty interesting in the fourth. The Lynx do falter somewhat in the second half, or at least when it comes to the final quarter, the fourth quarter. They got outscored 20-17, I think. So it basically led the Liberty to get back in the game, but ultimately it was just too much Minnesota, and it went downhill from there. But I think Tina Charles ended up getting a double-double, even though in the first half on a 9-16 shooting, I thought she pulled away from the basket, hitting 17, 15 footers instead of going inside like she usually does in the second. And in the second half, when she started to, go inside, good things started to work for Liberty, but ultimately they couldn't hang on.
Crystal, the Liberty now have lost their third straight game after starting off the year 2-0, and again, it's another poor night at the office for them shooting. But not only that, though, Crystal, it's another game, though, where they have had to rely way too heavily on Tina Charles to be the anchor and the glue. I mean, you can only be one or the other in her case of being, obviously, the go-to player. But somebody on this Liberty roster has got to help Tina Charles carry that load because I think that what you brought, though, on one of our recent shows, though, KT, was about the burnout effect, perhaps, in regards that, Charles has been, overworked, I'd say, in these past couple games. And, again, Tina leads the way for the Liberty, again, with 23 points. But, again, not much else of a safety net in regards to someone else scoring a lot of points as Charles has done in the past couple games. So, Crystal, what are your thoughts about the Liberty's three-game skid, and again seeing Tina Charles having to, carry the burden of the load so far for NYL recently?
Like I said the last time, someone's definitely going to have to help her. Someone's definitely going to have to pick the load up. Whether I don't know if it can be Shorty Schimmel because I don't know if she's actually in shape enough to provide much production, but someone is going to have to help them out more. I mean, Brittany Boyd's, shot, especially today, I don't know if you guys saw, she missed a key layup that could have possibly helped them out, possibly could have tied the game, but someone's got to do more. Someone's got to do it besides Tina Charles. I mean, burnout's going to happen again. They have to remember she's also going to the Olympics this year, which is going to cause more burnout. If they do make it to the playoffs, I don't know if her body would be ready for the playoffs. So someone's got to do it, whether it be Harding, Zowie B. If they end up putting Schimmel, someone's got to help Tina Charles soften the load a little bit.
And Shorty, I think that's the biggest reason as to why the Liberty has struggled in the past three games. Again, them going down three times in a row after starting off, promising a 2-0. So there's going to have to be somebody to step up their game or take leadership of this club right now, and say hey, it's not going to be Tina and a bunch of other ladies in this locker room that's going to carry the load to the finish line. It's got to be a team effort. So Shorty, your thoughts again about Tina Charles? Again having to do a lot of work for the Liberty in the past couple games, and again another poor night shooting for the Liberty, especially too at MSG this evening.
For the Liberty, I mean, as in regards to Tina Charles, I mean, we talk about her bad shooting night, but she still ended with a double-double, 23 points, 11 rebounds, so she's still getting it done. But as far as a whole, I mean, I agree that they do need more scoring offensively. The other scoring culprit, Sugar Rogers, only had about 9 points, so she definitely couldn't help out then. And there's Shavante Zealous and Tanisha Wright, but they fully couldn't get it going, especially I think Tanisha Wright when she found herself in foul trouble. So for the Liberty, I'm not sure where they're going to get their scoring. From Harden is offensively challenged as well as Boyd. So I don't really know where else they're going to get their scoring from. I know they just picked up Swing Cash, and she's good for a locker room emotional leader, but anything beyond that, no, she's pretty much past her prime. So hopefully they just work collectively, on the offensive end, because I'm not sure where else they're going to get their points from.
And as I did, folks, a few times on the 8 West coming home from Phoenix yesterday, I'll take a pit stop and go into the chat box and say hi and say hello to our good man Todd Mintz, who talks about Shoni Schimmel, guys. He says if Shoni keeps getting DNP CDS, Her release seems imminent, and I would like to see her get a chance. She has been in worse shape than this in his mind. So, Todd, of course, thanks for stopping by and joining us this evening on the program. All right, guys, we'll now move about 5 hours east of where I'm currently at, or where we're all at, I should say, here in Southern California. Back out to Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, with the Phoenix Mercury after, another rough start for PHX, but a pretty big second half. Carries them over the finish line and past the Connecticut Sun 99-90, a shootout final score from the desert this evening. And as I said, the solar system would be guaranteed a victory with either the Sun or Mercury winning this contest this evening. It's all Camille Little for Connecticut, 16 points, along with Alex Montgomery with 14. Morgan Tuck, 12 points, the rookie out of UConn, along with Jasmine Thomas with 11 points. Alyssa Thomas also with 10. Following up scoring-wise as well, Shanae Agumake with 9 points. Kelsey Bone with 7. Rachel Bannon with 6, made 2 of her 3 3-point attempts in the ballgame. Jonquil Jones, 5 points, only in 9 minutes played. And also not scoring tonight was Anika Henry Morello with no points, along with Kelly Ferris and Shakina Strickland, DNP, this evening for the Sun. For the Phoenix Mercury, Brittany Griner with a season-high so far 21-point game in almost 35 minutes played. Diana Taurasi after a rough start for Dee this evening's 19 points. Penny Taylor with 16 points, along with Dewana Bonner and Candice Dupree with 15. Misty Bass with 6. Izzy Harrison with 4. Alex Harden with 3. Noelle Quinn, Sonia Petrovic, Aaron Fields, and Courtney Williams all did not register points in the game today. Of course, the game played from the Purple Palace in downtown Phoenix. The Talking Stick Resort Arena total attendance tonight 8,412. Time of the game, 1 hour and 53 minutes. Maj Forsberg, Jonathan Sterling, and Tom Nunez, the officials for today's game. 4 times the lead change, and 2 times the Sun and Mercury were tied in the contest this evening. So, Shorty, we'll start with our neighbors to the east, you can say, in Phoenix, coming off of obviously, win number 1, of course, was I would probably call win 1 for Phoenix a confidence booster for them after the 0-4, the really rough start that they had got themselves on. So now, Shorty, okay, back-to-back wins, getting themselves back on track in this contest in regards to how Phoenix had a 32-4 run from the end of the third quarter, over an 8-minute stretch there, Shorty. And again, I really think that this is probably this is a confidence booster for this Phoenix Ball Club, Shorty, after the really rough start they got themselves off to and the hole that they dug themselves this early in the year. Shorty, final takeaway from the Mercury's comeback victory, and also their second win in a row.
I mean, it was definitely a confidence boost for the Mercury. I mean, they trailed the Sun, excuse me, not the Phoenix Sun, but the Connecticut Sun. They trailed up into, I'd say, about the end of the third. When they found their confidence, they found their shot. I mean, Alex Harden on a buzzer-beating 3-point shot to, bring the score to 73 to 71 to, in the third quarter, and they just took off from there and, found their shot. Brittany Griner had, her best game so far, 21 points, 7 rebounds. So they just, collectively got together and found their shot. They took over by the fourth, and it ended 99-90.
Crystal, quickly, we'll actually go to a question from one of our panel members tonight here tonight, from your good friend Eric Nimchok, Crystal, who's asking, in regards to Connecticut, Crystal, after Bone and Agumake, who should be the first post off the bench for the Sun? Tuck, Jones, or Henry, and why?
I'm going to have to say Tuck, because Tuck did some pretty nice things out there, and Tuck can also shoot the 3-ball pretty well. I mean, we saw what she did at UConn. But, I mean, that's one thing Connecticut kind of doesn't need right now, is to shoot the 3-ball so much. So, I don't know. That's actually a really good question. Thank you, Eric, for making me think. But that's a really good question. Probably Henry if they don't want to shoot the 3-ball so much, because that's one thing Connecticut relies on too much. As we see, they can't start making shots. They, for some reason they just seem to falter and can't get it together. So maybe Henry.
So, Shorty, Crystal will go with Henry, but what about you in regards to Eric's question? Who should be the first post off the bench for CT in your mind? Morgan Tuck, Jonquo Jones, or Anika Henry Morello?
I would actually go with Tuck. I mean, I know that Connecticut doesn't like three. They don't need 3-point shooting at this time, and of course that's one of her games is to shoot three. But she can do so more than just the three ball. She can drive and get into the paint at will. She can create her own shot and things like that. So even though the 3-point range is her game, she can do more than that. So she would be my first post off the bench.
So, Crystal, now we'll go back to you again in regards to the game tonight. Again, the Mercury coming back, clawing their way back after, again, digging themselves a pretty big hole early in the game. But, again, a 32-4 run over an 8-minute stretch, from during about maybe late third quarter through the fourth quarter, and as soon as that happened, you knew that the Sun were going to be in trouble if the Mercury got hot or got their way. And I think the momentum really shifted in this game, Crystal, when Alex Harden beat the buzzer. A little throwback to Teaspoon, in the '99 finals with the Liberty against the Comets at Compaq Center. So, Crystal, what about your final thoughts and takeaway about the Mercury again rallying back again after a rough start, but again, and also in your mind, is this a confidence booster that the Mercury now have won back-to-back games and have gotten themselves kind of off the canvas and back into the mix?
I do believe it's a confidence booster. Ooh, I can't talk right now. I do believe it's a confidence booster. I mean, they start off 0-4. Anytime you win back-to-back games, it kind of boosts you up like, okay, we can do this. We still have a lot of us left. At the same time, not to take anything away from Phoenix, but Connecticut kind of did, give that game away towards the end. They couldn't keep a lead. But they're a young team. They're, new system. They're still figuring it out. But I think this is like, the second or third game that we've seen Connecticut do that, where they'll be up or they'll have, like, a pretty good margin on team, and then they kind of just give it away. But if I'm Phoenix, I'm happy with this win. It gives you confidence, and you hope that you can keep some kind of streak going, because that 0-4 start was something that we didn't expect to see from Phoenix at all.
And Shorty, I go back and think about our last show on the 25th before I had gone to Phoenix for the game on Sunday. In regards to that, I recall either Marquez or Crystal or someone, or actually I think it was me that had said, in regards to Connecticut again, young and inexperienced, young, being a young team and also inexperienced right now is what is going to be perhaps their downfall in regards to that, In this case, again, it's a young team, not fully sure or capable of closing out a team, or or stepping on their throat one more time to end everything, and that was a really big thing. I think that's why Connecticut lost again was the youth and the inexperience in regards to how they're not really sure how to close a game out or end a game, and you saw the lead slip through their fingers tonight. So, Shorty, is it more about the Sun imploding or Phoenix just rallying back in your mind for the game tonight?
I think it's a mixture of both. Connecticut Sun is a young team, and let's not forget their top player in Chinea Gumake is still, recovering and coming back from injury. So, and also they're still implementing that new system. So, a combination of that, it will take time, but on the other side, I think Phoenix is a veteran team, so they know how to come back. Even when they're down. I mean, a young team like Connecticut or Seattle would somewhat panic, but they're a veteran team, so all they did was relax and play their game, get into their system, and they know how to come back. So I think it's a combination of both.
Crystal, I think you probably hit the nail on the head, but what are your thoughts, though? Which way do you go with this? Connecticut imploding to lose the game, or the Mercury and the veteran leaders or veteran team rallying back to win the game, in your mind?
I mean, I have to agree with Shorty. The Mercury are just a veteran team. I mean, they've been there before. They've been down by a lot before. So I think that them having vets on their team, going through that experience, kind of helped them. They didn't panic. They stayed calm. And as Connecticut, if that happens to them, they're going to kind of freak out. They've never experienced something like that before because they're such a young team. So I think the veteran leadership and the veteran experience helped Phoenix basically take this game away.
So again, folks, the Mercury and Sun final score: Phoenix 99, Connecticut 90, in the battle of the what myself and one of my good friends, Tony, who was a assistant digital content producer for both the Suns and Mercury, called it the Battle of the Milky Way. Mercury over the Sun, 99-90, from Talking Stick Resort Arena in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. This evening, again, and to recap the other game tonight as well, Minnesota over the Liberty, 79-69. Minnesota now 6-0 to begin the season this year. So, guys, some big news that Eric Nimchov just brought to my attention, though, involving the Indiana Fever. Maggie Lucas, done for the year, ripped an ACL in the Fever's last game, is just back on Sunday for Indy on Sunday afternoon. So, Shorty, going to you, and Eric poses a question to all of us. With Maggie Lucas now done for the year, who should the Fever sign to replace her, and why?
That is I mean, Eric, what are you doing? You're like putting us all on the spot, just on the spot tonight. To be honest, I'm not sure who they would pick up. I mean, there's a lot of players on the waiver wire, so I have no idea at this point. But I mean, if they were to pick up another player, I figure it would be another guard per se. Who that is, I don't know. Thank you, Eric. But yeah, for putting us on the spot, but I'm not sure. But whoever it is, it's going to be a guard nevertheless, or a forward.
All right, so more so perhaps it's in regards to the position department more than an actual player signing. So, Crystal, what is the biggest need now for Indy now without Maggie Lucas, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, unless April Sykes is available, you're gonna have to go with the next best thing, which is a point guard. You know, yeah, I don't know who it would be, but they definitely are gonna need a guard to fill that void. I mean, it just sucks that Bria January's out and Shanice Johnson's out. You know, those people right there could be helping them a lot right now. And that Maggie Lucas injury was, you know, it sucks. I mean, I was watching it, non-contact injury. Most non-contact injuries, unfortunately, are ACL. So. It just sucks that so early that Indiana's dealing with that, especially now they have to also think about Steph White leaving at the end of the season. So I think altogether it's bearing on them. But they definitely have to sign a guard who will be not even sure.
Eric, I guess just going to keep asking questions. I was just asked one completely out of the left field for no reason in regards to all of us in this hangout. Shorty, we'll start with you. Who wins the game of 21? Me, you, or Crystal?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna say me just because I'm biased. So me.
Crystal, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm in the gym every week, so of course I'm going to say me. I mean, I got that lockdown defense too, so.
I'm just going to leave it right there. Sorry, Eric, I can't vouch for myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself on the spot. Yes, I may be 6'4" and have a massive wingspan against those two in the hangout, but no thanks. I'm not going to go there at this point in time. With that, though, guys, guys, we will actually now go and recap, of course, the latest and greatest WNBA 365 host eye view from this past Sunday. Of course, I was able to take the network in a very small capacity on my phone over to Talking Stick Resort Arena in downtown Phoenix for the previous Mercury home game prior to this evening. Of course, when the Mercury had played the Washington Mystics from TSRA. And, of course, Shorty, this was obviously an opportunity, of course, for me to, want to get away out of San Diego for a bit and go and have some fun, of course. California's been stuck in May gray and soon to be June gloom. And, as well, Shorty, a chance, of course, to go to one of the original three teams that are still left from 1997. Had a great weekend over there. Went to, the Merc game on Sunday. Went to a baseball game on Memorial Day. So, Shorty, seeing some of the photos I put out and stuff, obviously got to see Ann Myers-Drysdale again. Got to hang out with some really amazing people I'll get to momentarily. But, Shorty, final takeaway, though, from this past host eye view from Phoenix.
I mean, it was good to take the show on the road to the desert in Phoenix, but it seems like enjoyed yourself, as you said. Took some really great photos, especially with a legend in Ann Myers Drysdale. So I'm pretty sure you had a good time, and you posed a good luck charm as the Phoenix Mercury actually won their first game of the season. So everything worked out well, I assume.
I don't consider myself a good luck charm because I go to too many Padre games and they lose 9 times out of 10. So I don't consider myself good luck for anybody. Maybe for the goals, perhaps, because I work for them. Actually, Eric's got a good question for us real quick before we get to Crystal's thoughts. Shorty, if you could sit courtside with one WNBA figure, who would it be?
WNBA figure. I would say, off the top of my head, Lisa Leslie. Lisa
That's
Leslie,
a good one.
yeah, she's just a legend in her own right, and I wouldn't, bother her per se, but I would, at least ask her a question, at least one question. So it would be good to, sit courtside with Lisa Leslie.
All right, so Lisa Leslie, good idea, good, and of course, hell of a player to pick as well. But Crystal, who are you sitting courtside with at a game somewhere in the WNBA?
I could only pick one. I'm gonna have to go with Don Staley. I mean, I'm just, I was trying to pick different, but I could only pick one. I would just ask Don Staley, about everything. Her when she was in the Olympics. I'd ask how it was to play against some of those greats back in the day. The Charlotte Sting era, which a lot of y'all too young to remember. I'd ask her, how it was coaching people like Tiffany Mitchell and how it is with USA Basketball. I just asked a whole bunch of questions. I'd love to pick her brain. Like Shorty, I would annoy her though, but I'm kind of funny, so I might tell a couple of jokes, and get started like that. But Don Staley is probably one I would love to sit with.
Eric, if you want to know, one of them is behind my right shoulder, closest to my surfboard, right here. So there's my answer for you, just in case anyone out there is curious. Todd actually wants me to actually talk about my experience of meeting Ann Myers Drysdale, guys. This is actually the second time I've actually met Ann. I actually met her last year when I had gone to the LA Phoenix game up there last season. But Todd, meeting Ann Myers, though, guys, meeting a legend like Ann, what she's meant for, women's basketball and also for the WNBA in regards to, playing with so many great teams, either in the ABA or coming to the, or the ABL, I should say, and then coming to the WNBA with, everything that she, has done. And, of course, her being the vice president of both the Suns and Mercury, along with being a, announcer for Fox Sports Arizona. Well, actually, guys, I'll actually show you that photo from my personal Facebook page, courtesy of Google Talk Screen Sharers, me and Ann. I remember walking up to Ann as she was going back towards the locker room on Sunday on the orange carpet, and I just said, Anna, can I get a picture with you real quick? She said, of course. And then she happened to, she kind of like, rubbed my chest because she liked the jersey I was wearing. She said, man, I love that jersey you're wearing, and I just gave her a thumbs up, and that was pretty much it. By the way, guys, and also from Todd, he says he would like to sit courtside at a WNBA game with Cynthia Cooper-Dyke, the head coach from the University of Southern California, for his pick for if you can sit courtside with any WNBA legends. So there's one for you guys right there. So actually, I do actually now, folks, and I'm sure that you guys have probably seen this if you were following me on Twitter on my way home yesterday from TSRA and from the desert, but I did get to hook up, though, with two amazing Twitter friends of mine on Sunday at the game. Shout out to my two good friends, of course, Maddie Power in the middle, and of course Jess, who of course you guys may know is the Diana Taurasi's Bun Twitter handle. Of course, all three of us hooked up after the game from Section 123. So two things, as you know, if you picked all three of us in pecking order from left to right with XXX, you would have won Mercury Tic-Tac-Toe, and also how we were ordered tallest to shortest in that photo. So obviously, but, Shorty, the best part about it, though, of course, was, for one, for me as a one of the very few, very small men's population or male population that actually watches the WNBA, and of course to have talked to these ladies on Twitter plenty of times in regards to either LA Phoenix games or just in general to say what's up. That was that's really fun, and also that's also a reason though as to why this league for me is so much fun, because you get to interact with so many people. As Crystal said though, time and time again, about how small and close knit the women's basketball fan community is. So obviously, Shorty, it's probably different for a lot of you people seeing me in purple and orange, not purple and gold in this case. But Shorty, any thoughts though again about being able to go and hang with not only friends of yours that like the sport, but also just friends friends in general that you do meet on social media?
I mean, it was a pretty fun experience. You meeting two Mercury fans, especially DT Buns page on Twitter, and just going out and experiencing the game. And especially with Mercury winning. But it's pretty good for you guys to all connect and enjoy the game.
And Crystal, obviously, that photo may end up I told this I think to Reagan because she was doing a little Twitter game today, but I said, that was going to be my header on Twitter, but I'm a little too tall for everybody, sadly. But again, Crystal, me going over to Phoenix, obviously for a game, maybe frowned upon towards, either fanhood, but for my case, being I'm a media member first before I'm a fan, anything else, and going there and not supporting a team. Obviously, I was wearing purple and orange, but Crystal, it's more so about supporting the league in my case as a person, that sits in front of a computer screen and does what he's supposed to do in regards to reporting on the league and doing his paying job. But again, Chris, to actually hang with the fans, and obviously we know that, there's not a whole lot of us guys that enjoy female sports as much as I do, or Eric, or whoever else you may know. But Chris, what are your thoughts again about, being able to, seeing, I guess seeing me hanging out with a few of our great friends on Twitter?
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with cheering on other teams. I feel like you can be a fan of more than one team. I mean, there's no rule that says you have to just be a fan of this team or that team or this player or that player. So I don't see there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it helps you guys come together. As you guys connected over the Mercury. You guys are fans of the Mercury, so I think that's pretty awesome. You can meet people who have the same interests as you. So I think it's pretty cool. I don't see an issue with it.
So again, folks, want to give a much-deserved and much-needed shout-out to my good friends, Maddie Power and Jess Garcia, better known as Diana Taurasi's Bun on Twitter. Of course, if you guys don't follow them, please be sure to follow them on Twitter. Two of the really awesome and really great women's basketball fans out there that definitely do their best and really just enjoy the game as much as I do. So again, thanks again to both Madison and to Jess for hanging with me and everything else included. So with that, guys, probably not much else to get to this evening in regards to today. Again, folks, to reiterate tonight's final scoreboard again, it's Minnesota 79, New York 69, and Phoenix 99, Connecticut 90 as your final score this evening in those two games. Shorty, before we do wrap up for the night, how about your final thoughts on tonight's two games in the league this evening?
I mean, I didn't necessarily expect the blowout from the Minnesota NY Liberty game, but unfortunately there was, and Maya was just spectacular, and the Leafs got the win, and also I necessarily wasn't expecting Phoenix to bounce back, but they definitely did, and definitely got their second win. So it's a good night for both the Lynx and Mercury.
Crystal, how about your final take on this evening's game? Again, Minnesota goes to 6-0, and the Mercury get themselves off the canvas and back on the winning ways with two straight wins to get back on pace in the rest of the mix. What do you think?
I'm probably going to have a lot of Lynx fans in my mentions when I say this. Can you hear me? I took my headphones off. Can you hear me? And this is why I say this. Yes, they're 6-0, and it's impressive. Don't get me wrong. I'm impressed. The Lynx are doing really good. but they cannot hold on to a very, very good lead at the end of games. They can't close games
Correct.
out very well. And I do know LA Sparks has their struggles, so I'm probably going to hear a lot of, well, LA can't do this. I know. I'm watching. I know. But the Lynx are having a hard time closing games out. And I think eventually that's going to hurt them. I don't know where. I don't know who, but I think that's going to hurt them. They're going to end up doing that to the wrong team. Don't know who the team is, and I think they're going to lose. But it's impressive though. 6-0 is really impressive. I mean, there's only two undefeated teams right now. One of them is LA. The other one is Minnesota. That's going to be a really good game when they play. But overall, they're doing well though. I mean, the Lynx are doing very well. We'll see how far they can continue to go on with it, but they just have to figure out how to close games a little bit better.
Guys, a couple of quick comments, two from Eric and one from Todd. Eric, first, actually, Eric has two. First of all, he says in regards to Eric, Crystal, to you, he says, Crystal, where is my 50 cents?
It's right here.
Oh.
Oh, so she's got proof, Eric. So there's proof for you. And also he says Crystal is a legend, but also Eric also does say Diana Taurasi's bun is also a legend as well. And then Todd, in regards to
I'm
the
a
Mercury
legend.
game and me being over in Phoenix, Todd also says the game is great, but Marley's Bar and Grill would be a highlight as well. Todd, I did go there on Saturday. Best food I had in Phoenix was at Dan Marley's Grill down there in downtown Phoenix as well. So just a little plug there for the good folks at Thunder Dan's restaurant down there in downtown PHX, right there near TSRA. But also, folks, we do wrap up. Want to give one more shout out again to my dear friends, both Madison and Jess, again, who I did bump into, or not bump into, but I was able to hang with them. Went to dinner with Jess and her sister on Sunday, which was great. And also thanks to the Mercury organization, of course, for hosting us as well on Sunday from Talking Stick Resort Arena down there in Phoenix. And folks, we'll keep you in the loop of our next up-and-coming host eye view from one of us at a upcoming game next time. With that, folks, we will sound the final horn. We'll see folks back here, same bat time, same bat channel, same bat folks back here for Crystal Thomas and Tanisha Stewart up in Los Angeles. Cal McClurg and San Diego signing off, but also, folks, real quick, want to pass along a very special happy birthday wish to one of our good friends and one of the best independent correspondents for the network, Sue Favor. Happy birthday, Sue, and hopefully you had a great day, and keep up your fantastic work. But again, folks, happy birthday to our dear friend Sue Favor from Hoopism. Give her a follow if you have not. It is at Hoopism on Twitter. And again, Sue, happy birthday from all of us here at the network. With that, folks, we'll see you folks back here tomorrow night. For KT and Shorty, this is Cal McClurg signing off. Take care, folks, and good night. See you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.